There are moments in football when everything feels a little too quiet. The headlines are not exploding, announcements are not coming, and for many supporters this can sound like a lack of ambition. But those who follow the behind-the-scenes closely know that silence is often just the calm before a major move. While the spotlight is focused on other clubs, discreet conversations continue away from the cameras, and important decisions start to take shape without making any noise. At Newcastle United, this feeling is easy to notice. The January transfer window has been open for almost 2 weeks now, and so far no new signings have been officially announced. For part of the fanbase this creates anxiety, for others it sparks curiosity. Is the club really standing still or simply waiting for the right moment to act? In an inflated market, moving carefully can be just as strategic as spending quickly. What makes this scenario even more interesting is the on-pitch context. Newcastle have been showing clear signs of growth, but also signs that there is still room to improve. Every match offers clues, every decision from Eddie Howe highlights specific needs, and this is exactly where planning becomes crucial. It is not about signing players for the sake of it, but about finding pieces that raise the level of the squad in a sustainable way. The dramatic 4-2-3 victory over Leeds United at St James Park was a perfect reflection of that. Emotion, intensity, total commitment, and, at the same time, moments of imbalance that show how the team can still improve. The result lifted the Magpies to 6th place in the Premier League, reinforcing the feeling that the club is very close to something bigger. And when a team reaches that point, every detail matters. According to information from Team Talk, Newcastle United are keeping an eye on reinforcements coming from Italy and are closely monitoring players from Atalanta. Among the names being watched are Giorgio Scalvini, Onesta Hana, and above all, a Brazilian midfielder who has been attracting attention for performing at what is considered an exceptional level, valued at up to £34 million. Before we dive deeper into that name, it is worth a quick and sincere invitation. If you enjoy following well-researched news, in-depth analysis, and everything that happens behind the scenes at Newcastle United, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps our work a lot and ensures you do not miss any important updates like the one we are bringing you today. Newcastle's interest in Serie A players is nothing new for those who follow the market closely. Italian football has proven to be fertile ground for tactical, intense, and well-rounded players. Characteristics that fit perfectly with the style Eddie Howe wants to implement. According to Team Talk, the Magpies have been watching Atalanta because they see something in these players that is different from what the current squad already has. Among the names mentioned, the one that sparks the most curiosity is midfielder Ederson. The English club, according to the source, particularly appreciates his profile and believes he could add even more aggression to the midfield. Playing alongside established figures such as Joelinton, Sandro Tonali, and Bruno Guimaraes, this is not just about squad depth, but about immediate quality. The report does not confirm whether an official bid will be made during this January window, making it clear that, for now, Ederson is considered a monitored target. Even so, the simple fact that Newcastle are closely following his performances already says a lot about the club's planning. Monitoring means studying, comparing, projecting scenarios, and assessing how a player would fit into the system. And this is where the discussion becomes even more interesting for supporters. Why Ederson? What does he offer that is different? The answer lies in an inevitable comparison being made behind the scenes. The idea that he could be a kind of Bruno Guimaraes 2.0 for Eddie Howe, a modern, complete, intense midfielder capable of impacting the game in multiple phases. Like Bruno, Ederson is Brazilian, dynamic, and extremely comfortable both on and off the ball. His understanding of space, defensive reading, and the way he joins the attack have stood out for several seasons in Serie A. He is not a player of isolated moments, but of consistency, something highly valued in a physically demanding league like the Premier League. When we look at the numbers from the 2024-25 season, the comparison becomes even stronger. Considering Bruno Guimaraes' performances in the Premier League and Ederson's in Serie A, the data shows very similar players in terms of possession metrics and attacking involvement. Progressive passes, build-up participation, and presence in the final third appear at comparable levels. Defensively, however, Ederson's numbers are particularly impressive. More tackles per 90 minutes, more interceptions, and a higher success rate in individual duels. In a midfield that already relies on intensity, adding someone with this profile could raise the team's competitive level even further, especially against physically stronger opponents. And it is not just about breaking up play. Ederson also contributes in attack in a tangible way. According to data from Transfermarkt, he has scored 13 goals in 138 Serie A matches, reaching 4 or more league goals in 2 of the last 3 seasons. For a midfielder with defensive characteristics, those numbers show attacking presence and excellent timing when arriving in the box. Imagine the impact of a player like that in big matches, the ones decided by fine margins. A midfielder who wins the ball, dominates duels, starts quick transitions, and still appears to finish chances. That is exactly the type of profile clubs on the rise look for to take the next step, and Newcastle seem very aware of that. It is worth stressing that, so far, nothing has been officially confirmed. team talk themselves make it clear that the interest exists, but there is no guarantee of an immediate move. Even so, tracking a player of this level is already a sign of ambition. It shows the club are not content with simply competing, but want to evolve and establish themselves among the elite. If you are enjoying this deeper analysis and want to keep receiving content like this, it is worth remembering to subscribe to the channel. Your support strengthens the project and allows us to keep bringing you well-sourced information, always with a full focus on Newcastle United. Another important point is tactical fit. Eddie Howe likes an intense midfield, capable of pressing high, winning the ball back quickly and maintaining tempo throughout the 90 minutes. Ederson fits perfectly into this model. His mobility allows him to cover spaces, help in build-up and sustain pressure when the team plays on the front foot. On top of that, the presence of players like Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali could enhance his qualities even further. With more freedom to rotate roles, Newcastle's midfield would gain variation, something essential over a long and demanding season. It would not just be another signing, but a strategic piece. The estimated fee of £34 million also plays into the discussion. In a market where inflated figures have become the norm, paying that amount for an established player at a good age and with high-level experience can be seen as a smart investment, especially if the club believes he can perform immediately and still increase his value in the future. Of course, there are risks. Adapting to the Premier League is never simple, even for talented players. The pace, intensity and demanding calendar take a heavy toll, but the club's track record with Brazilian players, combined with a stable environment and a coach with clear ideas, could make that transition smoother. As the window remains open, supporters follow every rumor with extra attention. The current silence does not mean inactivity, but caution. And if this interest turns into something concrete, it could represent a much more significant move than it appears at first glance. So keep an eye on the coming days. Behind-the-scenes movements often gain momentum quickly, and when you least expect it, a deal can progress. Here on the channel, you will follow every step, always with clear information and balanced analysis. If you are not yet part of our community, now is the perfect time to subscribe. That way you will not miss any important updates on potential signings, internal decisions and everything surrounding the future of Newcastle United. The main source for this information is TeamTalk, which highlighted the club's interest in Atalanta players, while the statistical and performance data was consulted on Transfermarkt. This adds more security and credibility to what is being discussed here.